Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, the show that takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible.
Welcome to GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. Hello, everybody. How is it going today? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Happy Monday. Happy brand new start to the week. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I hope it's not a stressful or a dragged on Monday for you. We all know how Mondays can be. Me personally, I love Mondays. You guys already know that, but I know that Mondays are usually the day that everyone just hates it. Everyone, you were wishing you had a 3-day weekend instead of a 2-day weekend, and you're dragging your butt to your responsibilities, and it's not usually that fun because we all want a 3-day weekend. I get that. But Mondays are great. Mondays are a brand new opportunity to create the life you want to live, and I love that I get to share an episode with you guys on Mondays because I'm here to help you live your life to the happiest and the fullest. I love being able to talk about all things happy, all things bettering your life, and there's no better day to start bettering your life than today. You know, I always used to think, okay, you got to start at like the beginning of a month, you know, if you ever want to like implement new habits or like your New Year's resolutions, right? Like say you're having like some resolutions or something like that and you're like, I want to start at the beginning of the month. Like I always thought that. But then I was like, okay, Mondays, I could just start at the beginning of the week. And I always thought you had to like start at the beginning of a week or the beginning of a month or beginning of a year, you know, and you kind of always push yourself on, I'll just start at the beginning of the month or I'll just start at the beginning of the week, and you let yourself drag on for the rest of the week or whatever the case is. But in reality, there is no better time to start than now, right now. I don't care if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't care what day of the week it is, what time, what day of the month it is. There is no better time to start bettering yourself than right now. Okay, and so that's what I'm here for, to help you live your life to the happiest and fullest, to better yourself and to create that life that you want to live. So, hello. Okay, today's episode, I had to ramble on about that for a little second, but today's episode is all about feminine energy, okay? And now before you males go running off of today's episode, stick around, okay? This isn't just for women. I'm going to be talking a lot about feminine energy, but also masculine energy, what exactly those two things are. You might be a little confused what feminine energy really is. I'm going to talk about why it's so important to have a healthy balance between the both of them. I'm going to be talking about how to embrace your feminine energy because it is usually we're all run by masculine energy. I know that sounds weird, but I will jump into it. And it is so important to make sure that you embrace feminine energy as well. It is a huge part of life for men and women, okay? Like, it's not just for women. I promise you, what I'm going to be talking about today is not just tailored to women. I know it sounds kind of scary when you probably read the title and you're like, do I want to listen to that? If you're a man, yes, you do. It is important for both genders, for everybody, okay? So, what exactly is feminine energy? And when I always thought about feminine energy, like I thought, you know, really girly things, right? You think of like really girly, kind of just feminine, right? But we all live in a very highly masculinized world. That is a fact. And what feminine energy is, it is the being energy in contrast to the masculine doing energy. Okay, does that make sense? So masculine is your doing energy, feminine is your being energy. And when you are in this being energy, you are in receptive mode, and it allows your man, your experiences, life itself to fill you up, okay? And this is, again, of course, opposite to masculine energy, because masculine energy is your doing energy, which is a forward-moving, penetrative force that gets things done, which is why we are in a highly masculinized world in that sense, right? Because we are always trying to be forward moving. We always got goals to reach, right? We're in a, we see busy as a success, and that's because it's a masculinized energy. That's what that is. It's because we're always trying to move forward. We're trying to penetrate forward, that force to get things done, get things moving, right? I talk a lot about masculine energy on this podcast, and I didn't really understand exactly what that was until I started doing research for today's episode to really understand the difference and what is feminine versus masculine energy. And when you are in your being energy, your feminine energy, you are not busy doing, but instead you're enjoying that which is before you. So what is in front of you? You're enjoying that present moment, which we talk about all the time. We got to be in the present moment to enjoy our life. And that is how we're going to live our life to the happiest and the fullest. It's not always about reaching your goals or moving on to the next step. It's about being present in the moment and happy in the moment and happy for yourself right here, right now. So that's what feminine energy is. And so it's not all these girly things that you think of. This is why, men, I hope you stuck around to this far, because that's what it is. It's being happy in the present moment, and it is so important for men, for women, for everybody to have a healthy balance between masculine and feminine energy. Okay? And so this idea of not doing and just being, that can be really, it can feel so weird. It can feel so out of this world. It can feel almost kind of annoying concept at first, right? Because especially if you're one of those people who have trained yourself to be in a masculine energy 24/7, so you're that go-getter, you're getting things done, reaching that goal, good for you, power all to you. But however, it helps to remember that reconnecting with our femininity is the key to restoring that balance that is missing today from so many women's lives, especially women, but also men, because women get, we have to be going all the time. It's always what's the next thing, right? And but we're never going to reach that businessman level, right? That masculine man level. So we have to find the balance between both of those. And of course, you want that external career success, right? We all do. We want that external success. We want to reach those goals, but we also want that amazing, fulfilling relationships. We want to feel fulfilled within ourselves. We want to be, we want to have happiness that is sustainable. We want to find happiness within ourselves so that it is sustainable. And this is what a balanced life will look like, right? Because you have that external career success, that goal-reaching, go-getter attitude, but you also have that amazing fulfillment of happiness and joy of being in the present moment and loving yourself right here, right now. So this is what really reconnecting with your feminine energy will help you achieve, okay? That's exactly what today's episode is going to be about, is reconnecting to that feminine energy. And your masculine side gets expressed when you're working towards a goal, when you're making progress, when you're getting things done, when you're pushing forward, right? That's what masculine energy is. And your feminine side gets more expressed when you move with the flow of life. Embrace your creative energy. Dance, play, move around your internal process, right? And it's so hard. I get it. I didn't realize how out of connection, I guess, I was with my feminine energy because I didn't really understand what it truly meant. And I've been so out of connected to it and for so long, and it's crazy. And then I started doing all this research, really thinking about it. I'm like, wow, this makes so much sense. And so these traits are not associated with gender, absolutely at all. And the set of traits that we've come to define as feminine do stem from the expectations we use to place on women throughout history to behave a certain way. There's no doubt about it. And just likewise, the traits associated with being masculine are the traits we use to expect from men. So today, we know people of all genders can have any combination of any of these traits. And no traits are inherent to any gender or should be expected of any gender. So what I'm saying, you men, don't run away from this episode, because these traits are okay for absolutely any gender. And so the words feminine and masculine can still be helpful in describing two different and opposing ways of being, even though we need the balance of the both of them. So for people of literally all genders, both feminine energy and masculine energy are necessary to embody in order to feel like you're a complete person, because we have to be reaching our goals. We have to be moving forward. We have to be going after our dreams, but we also have to be happy in the present moment, and we have to appreciate and love ourselves right here and right now. And we have to be able to go with the flow of life while also being able to achieve all of our goals and move forward. I know, it sounds really hard, doesn't it? But that's what I'm here to help you with. So it's just exciting that, we are supposed to have all these traits. We are supposed to be balanced this way. And it's not an easy thing to do. And when we are so goal-orientated, when we are so focused on what's next, we really misplace our feminine energy. So men are usually encouraged to identify more with masculine energy, of course, right? But there is a great joy in being able to let go and to be flexible. It's even more important than ever to raise boys without gender stereotypes, right? So likewise, many women are still raised with expectations to be feminine. But there are many benefits to being clear and directive and progressive and going after those goals. And it's quite satisfying for all of us to have outlets for both our masculine and feminine energies. And we are totally supposed to. It is completely normal. Okay, so there's my little spiel of kind of what exactly is feminine versus masculine energy. And when we get back from the break, I'm going to talk about the specific qualities of a masculine energy, qualities of a feminine energy, a little bit more in depth. And then, of course, I will be talking about kind of some blocked energy. What does all of that mean? And like always, I will jump into some tips and tricks of how to embrace that feminine energy, how to find that healthy balance between them both. So got lots of information to share with you. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I have literally been standing at my front door window for days upon days now since I made a recent order with Linens and Hutch. Okay, I'm literally standing at my window every single day waiting for the mailman like I'm waiting for Santa Claus on Christmas morning. That's how excited I am to receive my package from Linens and Hutch. If you have no idea what Linens and Hutch is, it is a family-owned company. It specializes in soft and cozy, high-quality, everything for your bed products, and I have made a very exciting order that I cannot wait for. So I just wanted to mention it to you to get you just excited, because if you can't tell, I feel like a little kid in a candy store right now waiting for my order. You guys know how much I prioritize a quality night's sleep, and I just know that these products I ordered, I cannot wait to review them and talk to them about it. Head over to linensandhutch.com and get just as excited as I am.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast. Hello, everybody. My name is Alyssa Jo, in case you forgot, or in case you're just jumping in on today's episode at this point. We're talking all about feminine and masculine energy, and in specific, we are going to be talking about embracing that feminine energy, because we need it. We need that healthy balance, and I feel like we are living in a masculinized world, and so it's so important to embrace both sides. So, with that being said, what are some of the qualities of masculine energy? Well, drive, okay, focus, assertiveness, confidence. Those tend to be seen as more masculine traits that set you up for success, in business and a corporate world, right? And other senses of our lives as well, but just for this example, I'm going to say that. So in a business and corporate world, and masculine energy is consciousness and solid like a riverbank. Okay, that's how they describe it. And they're saying that his thoughts are single focused on goals, the future, security, and protection. And he is most identified with his purpose and productivity in the world and loves fulfilling a mission. Those are qualities of a masculine energy. Now, what are qualities of feminine energy? So the traits that are most often associated with the feminine are things like connection, empathy, nurturing, emotions. She is pure energy and flows and changes like the water of a river. So not that solid like a riverbank, but feminine energy is the water. She has a diffused awareness, thinking many things at once, and she finds details that escapes the masculine. She is born to receive, that's very important, and she's most identified with her feelings and craves love deeply to be fulfilled. Makes sense, right? When we think of stereotypes of men and women are the more emotional type, the more connected type, the nurturing type, the more to wear their emotions on their sleeves, right? Whereas men, it's that assertiveness, the confidence, the drive for success, that motivation to get things done, that work mode, right? So the masculine energy likes to do, and then feminine energy craves to just be. So we have access to both of these energies inside each and every one of us, okay? And we both need to be balanced. But we are primarily born with one dominant form that feels most natural to us, right? So women are usually more feminine associated, and then the opposite is true for men. And in same-sex couples too, like usually one partner is more masculine and the other is feminine in order for there to be sexual polarity, right? So it is just inevitable, right? We usually are dominant with one or the other, but we do need to have a healthy balance of both. So what does exactly all of this mean? And this means that if we are more feminine, like associated by nature and change to compete in a masculine-dominated corporate world, then we lose some of our innate power, right? We forget how to be a woman because we're in this masculinized world. And we forget how to soften once we've left work, okay? This causes us to feel very unbalanced. We feel stressed, we feel stuck, and we become quite rigid in our lifestyle, and we lose our flow of life. So, we have to connect with others, and we have to start to treat everybody as one equal, with a balance of feminine and masculine energy. And how can we do that? And how can we embrace these energies into our lives? So we also attract more feminine associated men into our lives is a fact as well as women, and men that can't step into their masculine power and meet our needs. If we attract those men, sometimes we look at them as they lack drive. They lack the assertiveness that we desire. And it creates this unbalanced polarity and sexual attraction that can fizzle. So burnout is guaranteed when we feel constant pressure to strive and prove our equality in this way, right? I hope this is making sense, okay? So what is femininity? And, what does it mean to be a woman? Especially in today's times. It's crazy right now. What does it mean to be a woman? And women feel overwhelmed, confused, and unsure of how to balance their lives and how to navigate the terrain of femininity. So if you are a woman, I want you to ask yourself right now, what is femininity to you? I hope you're grabbing a pen and a piece of paper, and I hope you're writing down that answer. When do you feel the most feminine? And what do you do on a daily basis to connect to your femininity? 3 simple questions. Well, they might not be so simple. But 3 questions. What is femininity? What is femininity for you? When do you feel the most feminine? And what do you do on a daily basis to connect to your femininity? Okay? Now, these questions will help you balance out your feminine energy and your masculine energy. Okay? And I'm going to help you do that. So now there are some things that we can do to connect more with our feminine energy. And I'm really focusing on our feminine energy in this episode because we are living in a masculized world. If you want me to do an episode talking about masculine energy, I would love to do that as well. I would love to dive into some more research about that and fill you in on some more information. But right now, let's talk about embracing our feminine energy. And one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful tool to embrace your femininity, this might come as surprising to you, or maybe not, but dancing. Okay, dancing is a very powerful practice to help you get out of your head and into your body. Right? When we want to be in that being energy, that feminine energy, that being, we got to let go of all of the stress, the anxieties, the worries, and everything else, and we just have to be. And dancing is such a cool way to just be. You got to dance like nobody's watching. I'm sure you've heard that saying before. And it's true. You have to dance like nobody's watching, and you can find some privacy if you want, where you can dance as wildly or as sensually as you like, or in a group of people and really that's when you really master some feminine energies, when you're able to just let loose in front of a bunch of people, right? It's funny that that I kind of come up with this, and I'm talking about this today is because last weekend it was my best friend's birthday, and I haven't danced like that in so long. I'm pretty sure I was dancing by myself most of the time, but I was having so much fun. I did not care what anyone was thinking or anyone was doing. I just totally let go. I was jamming to some music. I was dancing so hard, I literally pulled something in my neck, and I couldn't move my neck for 2 days. Okay, so now I don't suggest dancing that hard that you're literally hurting yourself and pulling muscles, but it's so true that dancing does wonders for your mind and your body and your soul, and it really just lets you be in that moment. I haven't had that much fun, been that carefree in so long, and it was literally just me dancing around in a room around people, and some people were dancing, but I was definitely dancing the hardest. Hard enough to pull a neck muscle, so you can only imagine, right? And I was having so much fun. I did not worry about a single stress thing. I did not worry about anything else. I was just there. I was being myself, and I was having a time, like the best, right? So if you can do that, put on your favorite song, even if you're by yourself or if you're with people, maybe your best friend, it's something like that. Put your music on and jam out and dance and let go and just let yourself be comfortable in your skin and in your body. This is such a cool way to connect with your feminine energy because it is so true. It's so true how you can just let yourself go, take a few deep breaths, and just really feel yourself, what it is like to be in your body. Ask yourself if this music could take form. How would it move, Allow your body to express the music as if you're translating into a form of language. It's just wonderful things. I used to be a competitive figure skater, and one of the routines that I would have to do is called interpretive, and I would have to interpretate the music, okay? Which sounds kind of weird when I say it like that out loud. But I would pick, or my coach would pick a type of music or a song, no lyrics, no nothing like that, and I would interpretate it. And I had so many fun things. I was a boxer one time, I was a taban twirler, I was doing the alphabet one time, like all these weird things, but it's just to no lyrics, just to music, and it was the interpretation. I would make a routine, I would go to competitions, and that was the competition, how you could interpretate the music. And I never realized how freeing that was, because you just got to go with the music and form this way of life within the music. It's so cool. So I know you might not be a competitive figure skater like I was. You don't have to put your skates on, but put on some music and interpretate it. Let it move you. Get yourself out of your head and really embrace that femininity and connect with it and just let go and just be. Okay, it's time for another break, but when we get back, I will go full board into all these tips and tricks of how you can embrace your femininity and that feminine energy, and I got lots more good ones, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast. Okay, I'm your host, Alyssa Jo. We're talking all about embracing that feminine energy. What is the difference between masculine and feminine energy? How can we embrace it? How can we find that healthy balance? What can we do to embrace all of that? Okay, and so my first tip for you was dancing. Okay, that is a huge one. Dance, just dance, just get moving, which goes into my next tip is get moving, literally. Feminine energy is moving energy, okay? The ocean, hurricanes, weather patterns are all perfect metaphors for feminine energy as they are consistently in motion, that they're always changing and shifting, okay? And if you have been stuck at an office desk or if you felt physically stagnant for a while, you need to get your body moving. So whether you're going for a walk outside, you're stretching in a yoga class, you're dancing in your underwear, I highly suggest to your favorite music in your bedroom, this is when your feminine energy will always be activated by movement, okay? So when you want to embrace your feminine energy, get moving, okay? And that being said, wear unrestricted clothes, okay? Because feminine energy is pure motion and movement, it doesn't like to be boxed in or feel restricted, right? And so I know this sounds kind of weird, but go on a pants detox, okay? I know it sounds a pants detox, like what does that even mean? Try to let yourself only wear like dresses and skirts for like a whole month, okay? Which, like I said, I know that sounds silly, but it can really help you embrace your feminine energy. And like wearing restrictive clothing feels quite restrictive, right? And so try to do this for yourself for a month and, see how you feel. Do you find it easier to flow through your life? Do you feel less restricted? Do you feel more feminine? Like cultural associations aside, soft flowing fabrics mirror the constant moving element of feminine energy in a tangible way. So say goodbye to the restrictive clothing. None of us really like wearing that super tight restrictive clothing anyways, right? Like what's the first thing you do when you get home? Well, the first thing I do when I get home is probably take my pants off and put on something really comfy because no one likes to lounge around in your jeans. It's just not comfy. It's just not what you do, right? So say goodbye to those restrictive clothing, those really tight jeans that, it takes so many squats to get into them, right? Let go of that and embrace some unrestricted, flowing clothes that are going to help you embrace your feminine energy. Now, I mentioned that when I was talking about the qualities of feminine energy, I mentioned receiving. A feminine energy, it's a lot of receiving, okay? So masculine energy penetrates where feminine energy receives, which sounds sexual, but I don't exactly mean this necessarily through sex. You can receive by getting a massage, by getting a pedicure, having someone cook for you, things like this. And so, for example, let's say you were going to get a massage and you're breathing and relaxing that allows your masseuse's hands to penetrate beneath the layers of your stress and tension is deeply fulfilling your feminine energy. So get out there and start filling your schedule with things that you can receive. Who doesn't want to do that? Who does not want to get more massages, more pedicures, get some more dinners made for you? Like, go out there and prioritize receiving, because this will help embrace your feminine energy. Now, I also want to say that creating is a very important tip for embracing your feminine energy, because masculine energy is actually known as also the destructive energy, while feminine energy is a creative energy. So paint, write a poem, write a song, make a delicious meal for yourself, do something creative, get out there, take pictures, make a video, anything. It doesn't matter what it is, just start being creative. And it doesn't necessarily have to be good. You don't need to be the next Mozart or the next Van Gogh, but it just needs to be created. And you have to let go of all your expectations, and you just have to simply create for creation's sake. And creation will help you get out of your head, will help you get into that moment, and just let you feel. And even if you've never painted before, it's so powerful to paint, to pick up a paintbrush and a canvas and just start going and having no plan, no idea, just moving and doing those things, right? Just paint. Just let your life just come onto the canvas and see what you feel. Also spend a lot of time in nature and close to the water. This is, like I said before, feminine energy is like a river flow, right? And so you want to be able to just flow with it. And so spending time close to the water, spending time outdoors is going to let you just be in the moment. It's going to let you get out of your head and just flow with that positive nature energy, right? And this kind of leads into, my next tip of just getting out of your head, dropping into your heart, dropping into that gut, trusting that gut feeling is so, so important, right? And so mainly all these tips that I'm giving you today is all about getting out of your head and following your heart and following what's in that moment. With all that being said too, a really great way to embrace your feminine energy is just by taking full responsibility for your life and your dreams, okay? And this means by accepting who you are, what your life is, right here, right now, you are embracing your feminine energy because you're letting yourself be in that present moment, just being, right? You're embracing what your life is, you're embracing who you are now, you're loving yourself regardless by just being here and being right now and taking that responsibility of who you are in your life and taking on, it's really just taking on your responsibilities for right now. And accepting those, right? And so this can really help you embrace your feminine energy. Now, my next tip for you is something that I definitely have a hard time doing, and I really want to try to do this more often, and that is by having a free day, okay? A day of absolutely no planning. This is one of the best things that you can do to step into your feminine energy. And it's just allowing yourself to have one day where you have absolutely no plan, okay? And this is terrifying to me. I am the type of person, I definitely have my lazy days, don't get me wrong, but I schedule my lazy days. They are definitely scheduled that I get to, be lazy and do nothing for a while. I always have a schedule, I always have a to-do list, I'm always following a routine, and I never really just let myself have a free day because I'm always focused on, what's next and my goals. I really realize that I have a lot of masculine energy that way because I'm always what's next, what's to come, focusing on that drive, that focus, and I'm not letting myself have these free days where I can just do whatever I want. And these free days are super important. You can just wake up, you can wake up at 6 a.m., you can wake up at noon, you can watch movies all day, you can clean your house, you can go for a walk, you can do something creative, you can read a book, you can eat 10 tubs of ice cream. I don't care what you do on your free days, but let yourself have those free days. It's so, so important, okay? So with all this being said, when we have an unbalanced energies between feminine and masculine energy, it's it kind of causes chaos in our life, okay? And so unfortunately, like, feminine energy is often considered the less valuable of the two energies in Western society because we see busy as a success, like I've mentioned, right? And so masculine energy, that drive, that focus, is success. It's focusing on work and what's next and your goals, whereas feminine energy, just being, is maybe looked upon as like lazy or not, focusing on your life and your goals. And so, but in reality, like, one doesn't beat out the other. They are really two halves to the same whole. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 50 and 50, and not a lot of people will be 50 and 50. You will probably be more dominant in feminine or masculine energy, and that is totally okay. But we have to find the balance and let them balance each other out, because they really do. I'm going to give you a couple stereotypes here, because an unbalanced masculine energy is all striving with no contentment. So an overworked businessman with no downtime at all. Okay, that's my stereotype for you. Where an unbalanced feminine energy is like the present-minded indulgence with no direction or goals in life. Think of that like young party girl maybe who's could be addicted to some substances, just dependent on others to get by in life. Right? It's not very balanced. But you have to have that feminine energy with still that masculine energy for that drive and that success, those goals, going after, moving forward, but also, embracing that feminine energy by being present in the moment and enjoying your life for what it is right here, right now. So masculine energy is by far the more like prized of the two energies, and it's sad because people are working more than ever and deprioritizing their enjoyment. And we have to live our life to the happiest and the fullest. And we're not going to do that unless we learn to enjoy this present moment. So I really hope today's episode help you realize maybe kind of what kind of energy you focus on a little bit more and what you need to embrace a little bit more. And I hope this helped you think about embracing your feminine energy, because it's so, so important to just enjoy yourself today and enjoy yourself right now and embrace being instead of always doing. So thank you for listening to GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. I so appreciate you being here. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. There's new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Don't forget to head over to our social media pages. I update those regularly, so like and follow those. And as always, leave a 5-star review. I look forward to sharing more feel-good, positive, fulfillment things with you next time on how to create your life and live it to the happiest and the fullest. So stay positive, stay happy, and embrace your feminine energy. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find the show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows. From the GSMC Podcast Network, from sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Life and Happiness Podcast.